Hey, thanks for staying with us. Welcome back to Inside Politics. Let me go very quickly some of your tweets. Try to sample as many as I can. The lists on 127 says Kenya should get a president who has continuity in current projects being run by President Uhuru Kenyatta. There's one here from Scarlett B, who says IMF would not give Kenya a loan if Kenya is not eligible to get one, or if Kenya has a negative record for defaulting loans. Let's look at the positive things the loan would do to move our nation forward. Rather than being critics, we have one here from Masisa Vincent, who says, I agree with Kipchumba Karori. The problem we have here in Kenya is wastage and corruption. If we can fix this, then we don't even need massive borrowing from international institutions. Jamal agrees, says the appetite for borrowing by the Jubilee government is worrying. If we are losing 2 billion daily, why can't we save this 2 billion and avoid borrowing from the IMF? There's one here. There are many. I'm trying to read ones that I can read on national TV. Patrick Muriuki says loan is not a bad thing as long as it's used for the intended purpose and the citizens feel the ripple effect and benefits. And there's a tweet here from Julius from Aboga Makori, who says Nancy Gitau is an extremely overrated woman. There is no election she has planned and won for someone, not even Uhuru. She could be trying to push for Musalia Mudavadi, who Nick Wanjoy flopped with in Kibaki's final moments. Very deep analysis there. Keep the conversation going on Twitter. The hashtag is Inside Politics. So let's go to the phone lines now. We have many calls, so we'll try to move as quickly as possible. Let's start from the county of Nyamira and talk to Otiso Mutari. Otiso, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you, Ben.
Yes, very quickly, please, give us your thoughts today.
Okay, thank you very much. I am wanting to start from the IMF loans.
Yes.
And I'm really wanting to say that if IMF is going to give us the 255 billion shillings and we use the money in a prudent way,
yes,
I'm seeing nothing wrong. Therefore, those ones who are just petitioning online,
yeah,
they are just doing something dangerous to our country. That is why I'm just wanting to give credit to Mark Bichache, who has given good information about the 1989 to 2002 GDP on what you call the negative in terms of growth.
Okay.
Because we were not accessing loans. I'm done with that one. Number two, I'm also wanting to just give our brother Kipchumba Karori, the lawyer, a free lesson that you can't say that if we get such loans, then if they cannot go directly to the pockets of Kenyans, then it's just like nothing. If we just construct roads and railways, they cannot really benefit Kenyans. That is wrong. How can we get such loans, then we M-Pesa into accounts? That one can't work. So I'm saying that if we get such loans and they are used in a prudent way, in infrastructure development and other areas, like I saw, it's like it's going to go to KPA, Kenya Power and Lighting Company, COVID management, I'm seeing nothing wrong.
All right.
I'm seeing nothing wrong.
Tell me this, Otiso, as an individual Kenyan, do you feel the economic growth and the growth of the country's GDP in your pocket?
I'm not getting clear, Mark. Then I'm sorry.
Do you feel the economy is growing where you are locally, with the money flow in your pocket? Do you feel it? Do you feel the economy growing?
The economy is doing well. It's only that COVID has really brought problems in our country. But the economy is okay. Uhuru is doing some good work.
Okay, thank you, Otiso. We have to move on. Thank you for giving us a call, Otiso Mutari, calling us from Nyamira. Let's go to the county of Garissa and talk to Ibrahim Hassan. Ibrahim, today we are talking about two things, succession politics and the debt crisis. Talk to us.
My brother Ben Kitili.
Mzuri sana.
Hapa tunashukuru. Niseme nianze na politics. Mimi kama Mkenya.
Naam.
Niko na maombi ama niko na ombi hii. Sasa tunaongelea alliance kati ya Ruto na Raila. Mimi ningerai wa Kenya wote, kama kuna makosa tutafanya hii nchi, ni kosa la kuwapatia either Ruto ama Raila kuwa rais wa taifa hili tukufu la Kenya.
Kwa nini unasema hivi?
Kwa sababu Raila na Uhuru tumejua ni kina nani. Walikuwa siasa for the last 2 years. Na leo hakuna kitu tunaweza sema wamefanya. Ile wamefanya is a drop in the ocean despite being in the politics for a long time. Mimi nimesikia huyu wakili wa Karori akisema ya kwamba eti Matiang'i is not cut for the job. Na hawa wanasiama political analysts wanawaleta studio, first of all, they should adopt what is called unbiased political analysis. Just because you hail from a region does not mean that you should, advance for the political agenda of a particular politician. Matiang'i tunajua amefanya nini kwa taifa hili tukufu la Kenya. Just 1 year, we have dealt a blow the exam cartels. Kuna 2 wizara mbili amepatiwa, na hizo wizara mbili tunajua ile kazi amefanya. Kwa nini tunashuku his ability to govern this country if he has delivered a well result in those communities?
Okay. Thank you, Ibrahim.
We should collapse our energy, and even if he's not popular, we should use that airtime to popularize his candidature and market his agenda.
We hear you, Ibrahim Hassan. Because of time, let's move on to another caller. Thank you, Ibrahim Hassan, calling us from the county of Garissa, saying that Matiang'i has a chance. Let's talk to Gituma Charles from Meru now. Gituma, how are you?
Ben.
Yes, habari yako?
Mzuri sana.
Yes, tuongeleshe.
Nataka kuongea mambo hii ya Ruto na Raila kusikana. Mimi nataka wasikane. Alafu kipindi ya kwanza, kwa sababu watasukua serikali, Ruto asie Raila kipindi ya kwanza. Hii ingine ya pili, Raila awe mwaminifu, ya pili awasie Ruto wasukue serikali wakiwa namna hiyo.
Okay.
Hii ingine ya mambo ya IMF, hii serikali inatubebesha mzigo mkubwa sisi tukiwa wananchi. Kwa vile unaongea mambo hii ya economy kukua, pale mtu anakuwa huku hakuna economy inakuwa, kwa sababu kikataa kutoka nje kutafuta uwezo ukapata kitu, hata biashara ile tunafanya upate wateja wa kununua. Ben.
Asante sana Gituma. Asante. Gituma Charles calling us from Meru. Very, very well said there. Let's come to Nairobi now and talk to Herbert Arthur. Herbert, how are you?
Yes, Ben, habari yako? I'm okay.
Mzuri sana. Talk to us.
I wanted to contribute relating to taxation politics.
Yes, go ahead.
And very quick, I'm puzzled that some few individuals in the political help are telling us that there are people who are responsible for fixing whoever becomes the president in 2022, which is very wrong.
Okay.
Whoever is becoming president in 2022 is a preserve for Kenyans through the power of the vote. And again, why I'm dismissing that point is we are told in the Standard about a lady called Nancy Gisau.
Yes.
And I read through what I saw. We are being told about this wonderful lady is that he works for the USAID. He got a first class honors at the University of Nairobi, and also she is an advisor to the president. So I keep on asking myself, what is the relationship between all that and whoever becomes the president? So I'm telling Kenyans, let us not be brainwashed, let us not be foolish, whoever is leading us, but let us know that it is our president. Brings me to the issue of IMF.
Yes.
I'm not dismissing the irate Kenyans in totality, but again, I'm of the point that if the loans are going to have a ripple effect in beefing up our infrastructure, positively impacting on the SMEs, then it's a good venture.
Okay.
But also maybe just to let Kenyans know that you see we are debt-run state.
Okay.
We are not like first world countries. So borrowing is not a bad thing. But
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Herbert Arthur calling us from here in Nairobi. Let's go to Kisii and talk to Julius AMACHE. Julius, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
In 45 seconds only, please, because of time. Talk to us about IMF and succession politics.
Well, thank you, sir. Kenyans, let the Kenyans stop their pretense. A nation can never develop minus taking the loans. Like we can never develop as families minus taking the loans from the banks. On the issue of Orange HASSAN alliance, this is a dead on arrival alliance because of the two reasons. Number one, Raila can deputize William Ruto. Ruto can never deputize Raila Odinga. Two, nobody is willing to go for an MP seat to be nominated to be a prime minister. This thing can never work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Julius AMACHE, straight to the point. Let's come back to Nairobi, talk to Josephat Koikoi. Josephat, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, very quickly, talk to us. Give us your thoughts.
Yes, I don't know this guy Bichache. I think the way he's reasoning, you know, common mwananchi what we are talking about right now, economy in Kenya, around 45%, let's say 75% people, they don't have something to put on the table. So what he's trying to tell us that the economy is coming up between GPD or whatever, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And some common wananchi are trying to find out whether this guy stays in this country or he stays in another country, we don't know. So
you're against the IMF loan?
Exactly.
All right.
That increasing of IMF loan is supposed to be stopped.
Talk to me about succession politics.
Succession politics, I think the way the lady of the advisor to the Uhuru succession, he doesn't know what he's talking about. You see, in laws, in this constitution,
yes,
it says they need to go to Wananchi because Wananchi is the sovereign of the leadership of this country.
All right.
And the way this is in that they are talking this like they're planning their own and running their own house.
Yes.
It cannot work.
Thank you, Josephat. Josephat Koikoi, they are calling us, will be our final caller today. Many thanks to all of you who called in. And to those who were not able to get to their phone lines, we do apologize. We hope to speak to you next time. Let me go to the panelists for their final thoughts. Bwana Wakili, let me begin with you.
For me,
1 minute only, please.
My closing shot will be, as we talk about politics and what have you been, we must also remind Kenyans that the ball is on their court. 16 months from today, they will be the ones running the show. Let them not drop the ball, and then tomorrow we start rioting in IMF pages and what have you by electing people who have small minds. Let them take time, elect the right leaders. Let them get it right at the ballot. The rest can be fixed through the constitutional ordained means.
Thank you. Mesh, your final thoughts.
Very well. I just want to say that Kenyans, we have a problem with our politics. That we politic from one election to the next. We give a lot of our energies to that kind of activity and at the expense of building our economy. I also want to say that even as the government gets a loan from IMF, which I have reliably learned is meant for loan restructuring. It means getting a loan to treat other existing loans. I think we also need to give focus to our industrial sector. Like in the village where I come from, they grow sugarcane. The government has intentionally and has systematically tried to bring down the sugar sector. They should find a way of reforming, restructuring, and growing the sugar sector for purposes of giving money or bringing money into the pockets of the local populations.
Thank you. Hezbollah.
I can't agree more with Mheshimiwa that at the end of the day, when you talk about the debt crisis or the debt issues and succession politics, and the fact that our GDP has doubled but Kenyans don't have money at their pockets, comes back to leadership. And it is interesting that he is talking about the region he comes from, which is also the region I come from, and talking about it robustly while he's outside Parliament. I wish he had had this robustness when he was in Parliament. But let me say this. The reason why Kenyans don't have enough money at the grassroots level is not about the national government, the GDP, or an individual or an institution like IMF. It is about the leadership and the lack of focus in the local leadership that we have. In the last financial year, each and every MP, including MPs whose constituencies have only 25,000 people, received 137 million. We need to start asking ourselves, where did this money go? To what extent can we have these people have conversations that will empower the people at the local? Sony Sugar is in Migori County. Migori has a number of MPs. To what extent did they have conversations around the resources that were devolved through national government, CDF, to ensure that farmers make money and Sony is running? And that is the conversation that people need to ask. That if you're getting these loans to cushion the economy, to what extent are our leaders ensuring that this money benefits the local mwananchi? The enemy is within, and we need to address that.
Asante sana. Mark Bichache, have the final word today.
Ben Kitili, when you call us to this noble show, we come here with a sovereign duty. That duty is to inform the public, to guide them, in fact, in what is the path of the greatest success and the greatest amount of goodwill towards our people. That responsibility is carried by us giving them the facts and figures that exist. Now, every time we discuss the economy, conveniently we want to dismiss GDP numbers and we want to dismiss reality and enter into flights of fantasy and personal attacks. But let me recenter the conversation. Our GDP has grown, but we are a developing country. That admission in and of itself says that there are parts of this country that are developed, others that are developing, and others that are underdeveloped. Now, the question I want to ask is this, that if the SGR and the roads we are building do not add value to Kenyans, then tell me, who in this country, who has an acre, an eighth of land next to a newly built road that has not seen the doubling of value of that piece of land? Tell me today, which part of this nation
Please summarize, Mark, the final thoughts.
Which part of this nation does not have more educated Kenyans because more kids are going to school? We are in the process of development.
All right.
Let us look at the numbers that matter and erase the flights of fancy, the emotional arguments by which our politicians hope to beguile us so that we can trade SGRs for wheelbarrows and then sit on this show and say there's such a thing as top-down economics that is not recognized by any institution.
Thank you, Mark.
Economics.
We have to leave it there. It was the final thoughts, but very, very passionately well said there. Thank you, Mark Bichache, communication strategist, Hesbon Owila, governance expert, lawyer and political strategist, Kipchumba Karori, and the former member of parliament for Awendo in the county of Migori, Jared Opio. Many thanks, gentlemen, for your time this Sunday, for coming here to give us your thoughts on some of these very important issues. That's why we leave it on Inside Politics this Sunday, the 11th day of April 2021. I am Ben Kitili. Bye for now.